One, and welcome to another episode of the Match Betting Chronicles. So today I just want to give you a little insight into some of my two-up strategy. So I normally like to see what games are going on the day and see if I can get on any of these teams. So the Italian league is very good for two-ups this season. I mean, traditionally it used to be quite a defensive league, but in recent years it's full of goals. So here's the four Italian games on today. And when I look at this list, I'm licking my lips at two games. Atalanta versus Empoli and Lazio versus Verona. And I'd like, if possible, to cover both sides on these matches. I probably wouldn't bother with Atlanta because the odds are so low, 1.24. Anyway, the reason I say that these are great teams to be on is because both of these teams playing each other are full of goals. So Atalanta, they love to attack. They were one of the top teams, but their defence really lets them down. They had a great start to the season, but I think they're about 6th or 7th at the moment. And then Empoli, they've been involved in 2 or 3 full turnarounds this season. And then Verona, probably, as you know, been involved in loads. And Lazio are also quite good for a full turnaround. So, promising games here. But it's just whether we can get on these. They might not be plus EV to get for a 2-up. But let me just show you Empoli. I mean, look at that. Look at these goals. So, Napoli, they were beating them 2-0, I think. And then I think these 3 goals were scored in the last 10 minutes. So if you was on Napoli, you'd have got a big payday there. They got 2 goals against Inter. 2 goals against Juventus, not bad. But I remember this game, Lazio versus Empoli, and I think Empoli went 2-0 up in like the first 10 minutes. And then eventually, it's ended 3-3. We can see in the league, so Atalanta are 8th actually, and they've conceded 47 goals and scored 65. It's pretty good for us. And then Empoli, look, they've got actually the worst defence in the league. 70 goals conceded. So if they do go 2-0 up, you're hoping that the other team will come back. It's a good chance. Actually, sorry, this team, Salernitana, has conceded 4 goals more than them. But yeah, once these two, if any of these two teams go 2-0 up, there's a good chance the other team comes back. And that's proved the case for this one, Venezia. I think every time I've seen them go 2-0 up, the other team has come back to draw the game or win the game. Verona did that. Anyway, so you can see why I want to back Empoli. Okay, but if we go into this game, and we can see that Bet365 have got odds of 11, and so has Paddy Power, which means the lay odds are 14, and that means it's not a plus EV bet. Okay, so if I put that in the calculator with a 25 stake, just for £25, it's a £5.32 qualifying loss, which is too high. You won't find this match in the 2-up odds matcher unless it's something like this, 11.5, which would be just a £1 qualifying loss, or maybe 12, which would be £2 qualifying loss. You might even get 12.5 as a plus EV bet. So you're risking £3. But earlier in the day, it was odds of 13. And I took this bet on Matchbook for the reasons I've told you above. It might be negative EV, but because of the teams that are playing each other, because of how many full turnarounds Empoli have been involved in and their poor defence, I don't mind taking an extra £1 or £2 qualifying loss to have a chance today, because 2 ups, it is a numbers game and you've got to try and get on as many as possible. And yes, you've got to try and keep your qualifying losses down, because you can go on long runs, losing runs. But for me, when 2 teams like this play each other, it is, in my opinion, worth taking a slightly higher qualifying loss. And what I've actually done is I've underlaid. So I've took a qualifying loss of £4.17. But if Empoli win, I'll break even. So I won't take a qualifying loss at all. So make it out of what you will. I mean, a lot of people will totally disagree with my strategy here, but all I can say is this has worked for me quite a few times this season. That I've took an extra £1 or £2 qualifying loss, a bit more than I would normally do, and it's paid dividends. That team has gone 2-0 up, and there's been a full turnaround. So yeah, if you're too tight, you can't get on as many games as other people, and you've got less chance of hitting something. That's my opinion. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this video useful, and at least, even if you're not going to follow this, you don't have to. It's just my approach. But even if you don't, it gives you an insight into what other people might do. You know, there's a lot of different ways of doing match betting. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.